Hey everyone, welcome back to another great week here. This video may answer the burning question that you have. What is the secret to being a successful small group leader? Have you ever wondered that? We get asked that very often. And truly, as we talk to people who desire to serve in a small group leader capacity, one of the fears that arises frequently is, "Man, I just don't know if I'm qualified. I just don't know if I'm ready. I don't know how to do this. I don't know if I'm going to be good at it." And so I wanted to address that concern and that fear. What is the secret sauce in the formula that creates a good small group leader? And it may not be what you think. Um, so typically, as I talk to small group leaders and adults, the things that they address that they feel like would make them more successful is, I wish I had a better knowledge of the Bible. I wish I was able to reference scriptures and point to things and talk through these biblical passages in a really efficient way. Or they might say, I wish I were able to answer the hard questions that students have. Students ask me questions and I don't know how to answer them. I don't know how to address them. I don't know what to say. And so I just kind of refer them out to other people. Or some small group leaders say, man, I just wish I knew how to kind of facilitate the group a little better. You know, we've got students who talk a lot. We've got students who don't talk at all. We've got students who are inconsistent or flaky. How do I create like a culture in my small group where students are engaging and talking, but they're also restraining themselves from talking too much, and they're not distracted and goofing around, and they're focused on the lesson? Like, how do I do that? And there's so many other categories we could talk through. I wish I knew theology. Uh, I wish I were better at counseling. I wish I knew how to handle crisis moments. There's so many categories we could talk through, but I'm going to give you what I believe to be the secret sauce of being a successful small group leader. And here it is. You ready? Consistency. That's it. Consistency. While Bible knowledge and counseling skills and group facilitation and all those things are important, and we should strive to get better at them, the most important thing may be consistency. Just showing up week after week after week. And I don't just mean in the room. I mean showing up in the lives of your students. While Fellowship Greenville students, I consider the student ministry to be kind of my flock of sheep as a whole that I'm shepherding. Your small group is your flock, is your, miniature flock within the greater flock. And so shepherd them, show up, be consistent. That to me is the successful thing. To be a successful small group leader. That's the key. I have only ever led 2 small groups in my time doing student ministry. The first small group I led, I was a small group leader for 6 years. I started with 7th graders, and I remained with them all the way through 12th grade until they graduated high school. The next small group I led, I was a small group leader for them for 4 years. And I started with 8th graders and went almost through high school, but then I moved out of town. I moved, so I wasn't able to finish that last run with them. But my philosophy of being a small group leader has always been, I want to do this over the long haul. I want to grow with these students, because that's really the key of discipleship, is like, how can I leverage my relational influence over the long haul as their worldview changes and their maturity changes and their spirituality is evolving and they have questions. I'm building trust with them that I'm going to leverage later. Like when they're in high school, I'm going to be able to have these deep conversations with them, and I'm going to be able to kind of poke and prod and point out some things in their lives that may not be that healthy, or when they're in crisis, they're going to come to me. I mean, in a lot of ways, small group leaders are secondary only to parents. I mean, they become the spiritual mentors of students. And it really isn't because of the Bible knowledge that you have. It's not because of the counseling skills that you have. It's not because of how well you can moderate the group. It's really because you showed up week after week in their small group. You came to the sporting events. You came to the graduations. You came to the birthday parties. You were involved in the group chats. You were consistent as a presence in their life. And they have identified you as someone who loves Jesus and loves me. And that's the connecting point in my spirituality. That, to me, is the secret of being a successful small group leader, to dig in and commit for the long haul. And it's not always easy because seasons in life change, and man, sometimes time just becomes so rare, and it's like, I don't know if I can lead the group this year. And there were so many times I was like, dude, I can't do it. But I just kept digging in, and I just kept showing up. Some weeks I felt like I blew the Bible lesson. I felt like I didn't teach it well. Other weeks I was like, dude, is this even effective? Do these guys even, would it even matter if I'm not here next? But I just kept showing up. And man, I've just seen those guys grow up and walk with Jesus. And so many of them have maintained their faith. And that's not all just because of me. But I think consistent leaders are a huge contributing factor to the longevity of a resilient faith in our next generation. So the secret sauce to me is consistent leaders over the long haul. So simple encouragement, let's just show up and keep loving on our students for as long as we can.